going on, everyone? It's Nero again. Take for you some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and some Mob of the Dead gameplay, the new zombie map of Mob of the Dead. And I figured I would post this up for you guys because a lot of people are asking for some Mob of the Dead stuff, and I actually get an AK-47 out of the box, which is new to Mob of the Dead. The AK previously wasn't in zombies. And I think my brother gets a death machine right here. Hold on. My brother gets a death machine out of the box. Mob of the Dead is some crazy stuff. So people have been asking me to make like a walkthrough of Mob of the Dead, basically showing people how to get the high levels, similar to what I did with Die Rise. If you guys don't know, you missed that video. I made like a strategy guide for Die Rise when it came out for Revolution, and I made it around 78, and a lot of people really enjoyed that video. But I've played Mob of the Dead here maybe twice on solo, and I think I made it around 10 both times. So I'd have to figure out a strategy. I'd have to play around with the map a little bit more to be able to get the high rounds, to be able to make a video about it. So, you know, time will tell whether or not that video will come. But as for the gameplay we're watching right now, it's nothing really special. We're playing in a public match, myself, Cypher, and my brother. We're going up with 3 of us, trying to get on the 3-person leaderboard. I think we make it to round 24, and because of that, I think we're ranked like 1,000 in the world or something like that. It's a really high rank, but of course it's going to go down. It's only been, the game's only been out a day, so keep that in mind. But the gameplay itself is, I don't know, it's pretty entertaining. Some kind of cool stuff happens. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's hop on this with this week's episode of Dear Nero. It's a weekly series here on my channel where you guys send me in fan mail, fan questions, if you will. If I feel so it's a good question, an entertaining question, I will go ahead and answer it. Let's hop into this with the first question. He writes, Dear Nero, ever since the patch of the submachine guns, my kill death ratio has dropped about 20 points. No joke. And I'm going to do an editor's note here. I think he means 0.20 points. I don't think this person had a 20 kill death ratio. Everyone says to use the LMGs or an assault rifle, but I can't. My playstyle is rushing with the MSMC and I can't do anything else. How do I get better? Tyler the Canadian. Well, Tyler the Canadian, first and foremost, you shouldn't base your entire game off of one strategy, off of one playstyle, off of one weapon tier. That's just horrible. That's a horrible way to play. You're not growing as a player. You're not evolving as a player. You watch like the videos I post up. You know, I got some assault rifles in there. I got light machine guns. I've got shotguns. I got submachine guns. Not so much snipers. I'm not a big fan of sniping really, but yeah, I use different guns, and it's not necessarily because, you know, I want it's just variety, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I don't know how, like you say, rushing with the MSMC is the only thing you can do. And I'm sitting here thinking like, that doesn't bore the hell out of you. I mean, I can understand rushing all the time. That's a play style. You can do that with assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns, SMGs, whatever, snipers even. But doing it with one gun, you're like the kid in World at War that only used the MP40, right? Like, that's what you are. People say to use light machine guns and assault rifles, but you can't. Yeah, you can. You can definitely try something new. Maybe if you don't need to only use the MSMC. And for the record, I have a lot of gameplays with the MSMC. The gun's not that nerfed. It kicks a little bit more, but it's really not that bad. It's really not. Neither's the PDW. But then again, there's other submachine guns. There's the Vector, that doesn't kick. There's the MP7, that doesn't kick. They're both lower damage, higher fire rate weapons as compared to the MSMC and the PDW, but they both work rather well. You know, and the Scorpion Evo works just fine. Peacekeeper works just fine. I think you'll do alright, but the point I wanted to make, the reason I'm answering his questions, I want to let everyone know you don't base your entire gameplay around one idea. You don't base your entire playstyle in Call of Duty based upon one weapon tier and one kind of playstyle. You need to be able to adapt, you need to be able to do other things. So keep that in mind. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I just recently got to Master Prestige, and the whole time it took me, I said I was never going to reset my stats because of all the work I did to get there. Golden Diamond weapons, challenges, etc. Now that I'm being Master Prestige, I'm going through a dilemma of not knowing if I want to reset my stats or not. Obviously, you reset your stats, and if you would like to, I would like to hear your input on this. Keep up the great work. I can't wait to see what you have in store for Mob of the Dead. Thanks. Oh, he has a weird name. Vincenzo. He even wrote how to pronounce it, but even though I'm not even really that good at reading how to pronounce people's names if I'm not really familiar with them, I think it's Vincenzo from Michigan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. So your Master Prestige, congratulations on that. That's kind of a neat thing. Although I would like to point out, it's kind of bothering me. Does it seem like in the newer Call of Duties, it doesn't take nearly as long to get to the highest level as it did in older Call of Duties? It took like a minimum of 15 to 20 days in Modern Warfare 2 to hit 10th Prestige. Black Ops 2, it took me 5 days to get to Prestige Master, and that's 11 Prestiges total. Well, I guess it's really not, because all you gotta do is go all the way through. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know. So your Prestige Master, and you are wondering whether or not you should reset your stats. Now, I did reset my stats, and I think it was an awesome decision because resetting the stats for me made the game more fresh. It made the game more interesting. That's what it did for me, because for me, playing Call of Duty, just to get gold weapons and stuff really isn't fun. It just really isn't. For me, somebody who I'm on YouTube, and I'll say it, you're almost forced to play Call of Duty even if you don't want to, just because you still want to make videos, but you still need Call of Duty gameplay in the background. So sometimes when you play, you don't necessarily want to play that day, and playing solely for like YouTube videos or playing solely to do well or to get golden weapons really wasn't fun for me. What I like about resetting my stats, what I like about leveling up again, is the fact that, like I said, I'm leveling up again. I think that's a really neat thing. Leveling up means that if I have a bad game, that's okay. I leveled up a little bit in that game. That's okay. My stats are being affected somewhat, because when you reset your stats, obviously your stats are lower, and when your stats are lower, they sway a lot more game to game. Like if you have a really good game, your KD is going to soar up. If you have a really bad game, your KD is going to go down. You win 5 games in a row, all of a sudden your win-loss ratio blows up. As compared to when you're Prestige Master, it really, you could have a really good game, K doesn't matter. Have a really bad game, K doesn't matter, because your stats are like, there's so many kills and so many deaths on your record that individual games don't really matter anymore. So, should you reset your stats? I would say if you enjoy leveling up and you enjoy the RPG aspect of Call of Duty, then definitely. You should definitely reset your stats. It's really fun. But then again, I don't want to tell you to make that decision, have you reset your stats, have you lose all your gold and diamond weapons, and then all of a sudden, like, God damn it, I hate this game. Then you don't want to play Black Ops 2 anymore. That's another risk you run. So, in closing, I cannot make that decision for you. I can tell you what resetting my stats did for me and why I enjoyed it. And maybe you'll enjoy it too, but at the end, it's going to come down to an informed decision on your part. I hope it helps. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I have a question. I am really good at COD, but the only problem is I have the original Wii. My parents won't let me get an Xbox, but I know my channel would grow if I could get my gameplay out. There is no theater mode for the Wii, and I can't get a good camera. My question is, do you have any recommendations for my problem? So this is a question I get a lot. Essentially, it's saying, I want to start a YouTube channel. What should I do? This guy's a little bit different. He plays on the Wii, and apparently they don't have theater mode, but I don't see how that should bother you. First and foremost, you don't record with a camera. You don't. Your channel's not going to grow with a camera. That's actually awful. People's channels didn't grow with cameras back in 2007. And every now and again, I'll get these messages. Oh, can you check out my channel and give me some feedback? And I'm saying, this is actually a funny instance I talked about on Twitter. There was this guy who had like 10 subscribers that somehow got partnered on YouTube. And he messaged me and he's like, can you give me some feedback? I'm now a YouTube partner. I want to improve my video quality. I'm like, yeah. And usually I ignore these kind of messages. I'm like, yeah, I'm bored. I went and looked at his channel. He's a partner who has 200 lifetime views. And every single one of his videos is posted with him holding his camera pointed at his TV. And you can't even tell what's happening. Now I'm sitting there thinking, like, is it really that easy to get partnered now? That's just silliness. It's just ridiculousness. But yeah, this kid's like the same idea. You want what is called a capture card. You can Google it. I use the Hauppauge HD PVR. There's a bunch of different ones. There's the Elgato. I'm looking at the AverMedia Gamer HD one. It's the one Willie's Gamertag uses. It puts out really good quality. I'm looking at that. There's a Blackmagic. There's a bunch of different capture cards you need, and they cost money. They cost a lot of money, but that's the best way to do it. In terms of you can play on the Wii. I think you should actually stay on the Wii. If you stay on the Wii, that can be your thing. You can be your thing. You can be the Wii player. There's definitely a group of people in this world who want to see Wii gameplay. There's actually a couple channels built upon Wii gameplay. You don't necessarily need to buy an Xbox, but judging from your question and judging by from the spelling of most of your words, is that you're a younger gentleman that maybe starting a YouTube channel isn't the best thing for you right now, especially since you didn't know what a capture card was and you thought that theater mode was the only way to get videos up on YouTube. You definitely have a long way to go if you really want to start YouTube. There's so many things you need to learn to this individual who neglected to leave his name, so definitely keep that in mind. And I don't know, growing your YouTube channel is difficult. I can run over the stuff real quick if you want me to. You need a really good microphone. You need a really good computer or a PC, whatever, or maybe even a Mac. I don't know. You need a really good capture card. You need an editing program, however it is you want to get that. I use Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas is like the minimum of editing programs that people use. Problem with Sony Vegas, it's a $500 program. Of course, there's other ways to get it, but it's still a $500 program. YouTube's an expensive hobby. That's what it's going to be for a long time, is a hobby. And the funniest part about that guy, that's, he had 200 lifetime views. He records everything with his camera. I'm like, well, buying a capture card would probably be your first step if you want to improve your video quality. He's like, oh, okay, when I get my YouTube paycheck, I'll buy a capture card. I'm sitting here thinking, like, you have 200 lifetime views and you're going to buy a $150 capture device with your check? People don't understand YouTube. Don't just partner your channel right away, especially if you don't know what you're doing. That is my advice to all you upcoming all upcoming YouTubers. You're a gameplay commentary guy, a montage guy, a funny guy, a let's play guy, whatever. Learn about YouTube. If your channel's small, don't partner it. It's just silly. I never understood why networks partner small channels in the first place. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. Mainly Call of Duty and YouTube questions this week. But then again, I honestly only got a handful of questions for Dear Nero this week. If you would like your question featured on next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube with the tagline reading Dear Nero. If it's a good question, an entertaining question, I'll go ahead and answer it. So until then, this has been Nero. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Please don't leave a rating. Love you guys all. Have a wonderful day.